2 rounds.
When you hear that first report, I don't know what the boys feel, but I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Just a few kilometers from the Pakistan border, US soldiers fire into the night.
We're in contact here every day. We have intelligence on the enemy every day. We have visual on them every day, but our story never gets out. Our story is always kind of put on the back burner to Iraq, and I know most of the soldiers feel forgotten.
Charlie Company, part of the 173rd Brigade, is halfway through their 15-month tour.
Is that smoke right there?
Their job is to stem the flow of insurgents into Afghanistan.
There's a rocket or an IED that went off, or something.
Not all the fighting happens on the front line. Cooperation from the local population is also key to battling the insurgents. Charlie Company Commander, Captain McChrystal, is attending a meeting of local elders to seek their help.
You think that the government is going to fail, and therefore you believe that it is better to stay neutral so that you don't burn your bridges for when it does. Let me assure you, your government is not going to fail. And by staying on the fence, by not choosing to support it, all you're doing is delaying the inevitable.
The Afghans do not appear convinced.
The Americans must ask for our support. They must also know the difference between the enemy and their friends.
The sub-governor is frustrated with the slow progress.
It's a great shame for us that we're only taking 1 step forward when we should be taking 5.
Captain McChrystal then asks for information on the insurgents, now known as Anti-Coalition Militia, or ACM.
All we need from you is to let us know about ACM activity. We'll even pay you for it. All right, we'll pay money for good information.
Silent stares are his only reply. Intelligence is urgently needed. There is a new wave of improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. These Afghans were travelling in a car that hit an IED. Despite their horrific injuries, this man and woman are lucky. They survived. 3 others did not.
We've seen a big increase in IEDs, and these IEDs don't just hit us, they hit the civilian population, they hit anybody on the roads.
With increasing regularity, the IEDs do hit their intended target, US troops. This crater was made by one of the biggest IEDs ever seen in this area. It killed 2 US soldiers and badly burned another just a few days before this patrol. It was buried in a road used regularly by Charlie Company.
That road is absolutely the worst route that I've been on this tour in Afghanistan. It's 6 kilometers of hell because you never know at any instant where it's coming from, where it's going to hit you at. Every time you dip into a puddle or you dip down into a small river, you just hold your breath and hope that you make it out to the other side.
At the end of the road sits their combat outpost, only 4 kilometers from the border. Overlooking a major crossing point for insurgents from Pakistan, its location is crucial. As many as 150 insurgents have been killed here in a single night. This place takes its toll on the soldiers from Charlie Company, who man the outpost. It's rocketed almost every day.
This tent is kind of the result of one of them. This is like a starry night when you look at it. It hit about 5 feet outside the tent as a recoilless round. Recoilless rounds, those make me want to just myself, because they penetrate the earth pretty much. We pulled a tail fin out. They were literally armpit deep in there. So you think about that. If it hits a tower, it's going through that son of a bitch. I honestly don't know how to describe other than a little bit of nausea and a whole lot of adrenaline and a little bit of talking to God. That's about. I don't know how else to describe it, really.
Back at the main base, a highly ritualized ceremony begins.
Ready?
The men from Anvil Troop say goodbye to the 2 soldiers killed on the road to the combat outpost.
On the 12th of November, we lost 2 great warriors. We lost a troop commander and his gunner, and it hurts. We don't mourn the loss of Dave Boris and Adrian Hike today. Instead, we thank God that these men lived, and we celebrate the fact that we were honored and privileged enough to have served with them and alongside them. Sky Soldiers Airborne.
Since filming, 3 more soldiers were killed here in a similar IED attack.
Right, Dave. Deflector 2870.
Just a few hours later, the guns are firing again. Forgotten or not, the war in Afghanistan goes on.
That hurt.